Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name's FM Jellicoe, and you're watching episode 31 of the Dafuge Challenge with Enfield Town FC. Well, this is one of those good news, bad news situations. The good news is we finished 15th in the league. Our end of season run was poor, which I kind of sort of expected, but not as poor as it turned out being. The bad news is the videos I recorded of this didn't turn out for some reason. And what I mean by didn't turn out is about every 30 seconds, this screen would be replaced by a gray box. The audio would go all wonky for about 5 seconds, and then it would pop back to normal. Now, doing some research online and a couple other things, it's an OBS error when your CPU is being tasked with too many projects and other things going on, which, I'll be honest, I recorded that session a couple of days ago, and I don't remember what else I was doing at the time. Usually when I'm recording, it's just me recording. I don't have anything else going on in the background. I edited it a little bit and played it back to see if it could be noticed. And at the end of the day, I noticed it, and it was horrible. And I can't go back and record everything, which in more than one way is disappointing because, frankly, it was some of my better commentary, especially the last game of the season, for reasons you'll understand in a minute. So, anyhow, this is how the Vanarama finished up. Tranmere, of course, won the league going away. They had 102 points, 117 goals they scored. The whole season, for the longest time near the end, it was about Enfield Town possibly breaking the goal-scoring record. We ended up with 112, and the only reason we ended up with 112 was the last game of the season. The other team to go up was Boston United. They won the playoff. The teams relegated were Aldershot Town, Ebbsfleet United, Eastleigh, and Bath City. We finished 15th, which is about where I wanted to finish. We hung about 12th place all season. I think we maybe got as high as 10th or 8th at one point in time, but I believe 15th or 16th was just the lowest we finished. 15 wins, 10 draws, 21 losses, 112 goals for, 105 goals against. So we had the second most goals for in the league, and we had the most goals against in the league. That's more than scary. That's one of the things I hoped to address in the offseason. Let me take you through the last few matches, and then we'll get to the offseason. I can show you what happened there. I wanted to end the season strong. I didn't get what I wanted. It was almost a disaster. We went 1, 5, and 4 in our last 10 games, and it was just, it was annoying, especially at the end. The last game I live-commed was the Southport game. After that, we went to Cheltenham away, and they absolutely mugged us. Kwame Thomas had a brace, goals in the 27th and 76th minute. Jack Blake had an 85th minute goal. Luke Rawson ruined the clean sheet with a 79th minute goal, but it was too little too late. Even though the vast majority of Cheltenham shots were beyond the box, they just had us on the back foot all game, and we really couldn't muster anything. Yeah, we had 6 shots and 4 on target, and all 4 of those were clear-cut chances, but we only had a 41% possession rate, and that's just not enough to win, especially when you're getting outshot by the other team. After Cheltenham, Fylde came to, well, I keep saying QE2 Park, but it's not QE2 Park. We're renting AFC Wimbledon Stadium. Plough Lane. Plough Field? Plough Lane? Can't remember off the top of my head. That's mildly annoying. But anyhow, Fylde came to our place, and we tied. Tom Ashton had a 32nd minute goal. Josh Phillips had a 73rd minute goal for Fylde. This game, it seemed like neither side really wanted to win. We had more clear-cut chances. They had 6 half chances. We each had a ton of long shots. It seemed a lot of the players on each side were afflicted with, I have the ball, I see the goal, I'm going to take a shot. And it was just, it wasn't an exciting game to watch. It was frustrating more than anything else. After Filed, we were home against the Gateshead. And I think you could tell by this point in the season, everybody was getting tired. Everybody knew the end was near. We were out of a relegation fight officially. I'm not going to say the players gave up, but I'm also not going to say the players gave me everything. Elvis Odom had a 10th minute goal. Taylor Perry had a 57th minute goal. Gateshead got goals from Oda and McLaughlin in the 54th and 70th minute. Again, a ton of long shots in this game. We had 4. Gateshead had 8. We had 10 shots, 5 on target, and 4 clear-cut chances. But it was, Tom Ashton had a bad game. Everyone else was kind of in that 6-3, 6-4 area. Taylor Perry had an 8-3, but only because he scored the goal. On the plus side, we had about 570 home fans, which is nice. But at this point, it was one of those cases of, Lord, we only have 3 weeks left in the season. Let us get through without a major injury. We were away at Bromley next, and I live-commed this. This was the shortest match I've ever live-commed. It was boring as heck. I think there was the kickoff highlight and 1 highlight in the first half, and the kickoff highlight and 2 highlights in the second half. It took maybe 3 to 5 minutes of actual time to get through. We had 2 shots, 1 on target. Bromley had 6 shots, 4 on target. Possession was almost equal. It was just, the Vernam goal was the first half highlight, and that was it. And I don't know, something tells me if I was a fan at this game, I would have protested for my money back. I don't mind a boring game from time to time. I mind a boring game that we lose. I let the boys have it after that. I mean, they got ripped a new one. So we went away to Yeoviltown, and we really gave them a game. Taylor Perry had a 26-minute goal. Thelastis had a 59th-minute goal. Richard English had a 66-minute goal. Yeoviltown got a brace from Freddie Hines with 11th and 29th-minute goals. Reese Spooner had a 42nd-minute goal. We fought back to tie this up. And then a minute after we tied it up, Nick Kambamba got a goal off the ensuing kickoff, which was just maddening. And then to make things even worse, Scott Bennett got set off for a second yellow card 5 minutes later, and despite being a man up and on the overload the last 18 minutes of the match, we got maybe 2 more shots on target. Yeovil was on it this game. They had 17 shots, 14 on target. They had 3 clear-cut chances and 8 half chances, and they had a slight possession advantage. I don't want to say they were better than us. They just made more of their chances, and they got a little bit luckier, which sometimes is what you need. Deering had an absolute horrible match this game, and I completely spaced that. He was like on a 5-6 until it was too late. And that's on me. We ended the season with a game at Dover Athletic. And this is about the most frustrating tie I have ever seen. So I'm going to walk through this real quick. Tom Ashton had a first-minute goal off the kickoff. He had a goal 8 minutes later. Luke Rawson had a 20th-minute goal. Joe Grayson had a 30th-minute goal. 30 minutes into the game, we are up 4-0. Harry Smith gets 2 goals 3 minutes apart in the 33rd and 36th minute. Charlie Castle gets a 46-minute goal right after the halftime. Marty Blair gets a 58th-minute goal. Miller Jess puts Dover Athletic ahead with a 66-minute goal. And honestly, they should have been ahead from the beginning because he missed a 4th-minute penalty shot. Fryatt blocked it. It was actually a really nice block. They ran us the whole game. 31 shots, 12 on target, 5 clear-cut chances, 7 half chances, a decided possession advantage. It took a Taylor Perry goal in the 78th minute to tie this game up, and we escaped with the draw after being up 4-0 in the first 30 minutes of the game. It was just bad. It's not the way I wanted to end the season. I wanted to end the season on a win, but we couldn't even accomplish that. Because of what happened with the first live comms being messed up, with that brief recap, I figure I would take care of end of last year's business and the summer transfer business here. I've also played a couple of games into this first season, and I wanted to give you the results of those too. And then starting with the next episode, we will begin the live comms again. I've got a few notes and other items that I had written down at the end of last season pertaining to awards and things like that I wanted to share. So we had 6 players considered good enough to enter the Enfield Town overall best 11. Luke Rawson was a pick. Taylor Perry, Brooklyn Lions Foster, Mark Bentley, Stuart Barber, and Liam O'Brien were the other players selected. If I was able to pull up the starting 11, it would be... Well, I have a screenshot of it here, but I can't bring it into the window without some creative editing, and frankly, I'm just not in the mood at this point. It's Fright and goal, then Lions Foster, Upton, Wakely, and Barber on the defensive back line, Bentley, Dawson, Ray, and Odom on the midfield line, with Ashton and Greenberg as the strikers. So the awards last year, the fans player of the season was Tom Ashton. He had 63%. The goal of the season was Joe Ray. It was a long shot from the top of the box. It was a really good shot. It was well worthy of being goal of the season. Then we have Joe Grayson was the signing of the season, and Tom Ashton at 23 years old was the young player of the season. I believe that's the last time he is eligible to win that award. The team meeting came about. I told the guys I was aiming for a mid-table finish. They were more than happy with that. Tom Ashton was our player of the season last year. 47 appearances, 2 appearances off the bench. He had 34 goals, 18 assists, 6 players in the match for an overall rating of 7.41. Luke Rawson, in 23 appearances and 15 appearances off the bench, had 16 goals, 11 assists, and 2 players in the match. Michael Thalastis, in 21 appearances and 9 off the bench, had 15 goals, 5 assists, and 1 player of the match. Richard English had a decent season for him, being his first in the league. 13 appearances, 17 off the bench. He had 7 goals, 6 assists, 2 players in the match. Taylor Perry was a surprise. He had 47 appearances. He started almost every game, I believe. Had 7 goals, 5 assists, 2 players in the match, a 7.05 rating. Was a solid season for him. And then Mark Bentley playing on the midfield left. 44 games started, 2 off the bench, 2 goals, 4 assists, 1 player of the match for 6.99. He was really developing into a pretty good left winger. Some additional good news. Enfield Town Stadium was officially finished. 4,000 seats. I will probably keep calling it QE2 Park, simply because I'm used to calling it QE2 Park. Financially, we were okay. We finished a little bit in the black. And I'm reasonably sure most of that was due to the cash injections that the board was providing. And I really wasn't expecting much in the offseason. I turned down a couple of job interviews, Port Vale being one of them. And then I was absolutely surprised when the board announced the initial payroll for the oncoming season was going to be £13,750, and I was going to have a £96,000 transfer budget. I'm like, where the heck is this coming from? So one of the things I was able to do in the offseason was I finally got us a affiliate, who I will show you in a minute. I started another coaching course, and I did a hell of a lot of scouting and a hell of a lot of research. And I kept running into the same problem. I would go out, I would scout these players, I would like them and would think they'd fit into my system. I would go and make a contract offer to them, and I would get a variation of, you can't offer me the money I want, or I'm not impressed with where Enfield is at the moment, or Enfield is too low a team to fit in my plan, or is too low a team for me to consider playing for. I had a ton of League One and League Two players who had been cut from League One and League Two teams. Tell me that. And it was annoying as heck. And as a result, I didn't make as many moves as I wanted to. I think that's really the first time in a long time that's happened where I've had a transfer budget. I've had money to spend, and the board is more than happy for me to spend it. And I can't. I mean, I even tried overplaying for certain players, and they decided not to come. I had a couple of players I was paying £2,100 a week to in their contract offer, and they ended up going to a League Two team for £600 because, you know, it's a League Two team. It was annoying as hell. But anyhow, this screen's been up for a while. These were the outs. Lucas Dawson left, Kieran Monlewis left, Dan Smith, Wes Fletcher, Dan Ball, Liam O'Brien, Joe Ray. Those are the names that everybody knows. They've all had a decent amount of playing time for me at one point in time or another. The names at the bottom here, Phil Straffel, Andrew Roberts, Daryl Hart, Rod Osborne, Dan Ryder, those are all youth players who I left when they were eligible for professional contracts because, frankly, they were just bad. On the transfers, the free transfers, Brooklyn Lions Foster left on a free to Peterborough. I wanted to re-sign him. I tried re-signing him. He didn't want to re-sign with me. And he ended up going to Peterborough for £325 a week. Not too upset by that. But he was a versatile player in our backline, and he was pretty good. He was a solid player for us. I think I've gotten better. It remains to be seen. So James Hilson is a keeper I brought in. 2.5-star current, 4-star potential. Younger at 20 years old. Liam O'Brien absolutely fell off a cliff last year. Joe Fry got a lot of playing time. But I wanted someone a little better who could get better with playing time. The thing that worries me is Fry got a lot of games last year, and he just didn't improve. Hilson comes from Aston Villa and Reading. He had 39 starts for Gloucester City last year, allowed 49 goals, had 5 shutouts and 2 players in the match. As you can see, he's had 1 shutout for us this year already, but that's not giving too much away, I think. If I was to compare him to Fryatt, you would see Fryatt's a little better in the distribution and shot stopping and a little bit better in eccentricity and communication. Hilson has better physicals and slightly better speed. They're both equal mentally. Fryatt, for whatever reason, has never gotten beyond this 1.5-star rating. And frankly, he's on £75 a week, and I'm okay paying him that. And I'm okay with him coming in for a week or two and swapping out, or, you know, if something should happen to Hilson. James Hooper is a jack of all trades, master of none player I brought in because he was on a really good price, and I need one of those players on my bench. 2.5-star current, 4.5-star potential ability, 24 years old, 275 pounds a week. He is going to be Bennett's backup at the left winger position, but he can also play right winger. He can play all the advanced midfielder positions. He's, I don't want to say a capable left back, but I can put him in there, and he can kind of sort of play the right back and right wing back positions. Not outstanding in any one area, but not bad at any one area either. The only thing he's really poor at is off the ball. Decent physicals, average mentals, average technicals, which is, you know, what I'm looking for. And he's okay being a backup. He's here on a backup contract. Loan deal wise, we loaned out Paul Wilson to Braintree. My plan last year was to rotate him in with Bentley, and that plan just didn't work. Bentley was performing so well and was improving so much, I didn't want to sit him and possibly stunt his growth. So Paul Wilson went out to Braintree. We loaned in Chris Keeley, who is a defensive right back. 3.5-star current, 4-star potential on loan from Millwall. Really good physicals. His jumping reach is only a 6, but I'm okay with that. Mentally, he could be better. That anticipation of 5 and leadership of 4, they're not concerning. What I like about him is he has really good determination, decent concentration, bravery and composure, decent aggression. Technically, 11 marking, 10 tackling, 11 first touch for the position he plays is really, really good. He's okay at long shots and okay at long throws. His technique could use a little help. But I'm playing him at defensive right back and defensive center back, and Millwall is okay with that. And then this is the only player we were able to bring in. Bath City was relegated, and a lot of their players wanted to leave the team. And with Spencer leaving and Rawson leaving, I'm trying to stay away from loan players this year. I mean, I did bring in Keeley, but I didn't bring back Odom. I looked at bringing Dorian Greenberg back, but he's still injured for another 4 months, and his potential is down to 3 stars. I think that ACL injury is just going to it's going to just kill him career-wise. He'll never be more than probably a Vanarama player. But Janai Gordon is interesting. He was on a Cheltenham team that was relegated and went to Bath City, and he had a really good season for Bath City last year. 38 appearances, 18 goals, and then Bath City was relegated, and he wanted to leave. We picked him up for £16,000. 3.5-star current player, 3.5-star potential, 25 years old, 575 pounds a week. His bravery is about the one thing I have an issue with from a mental point of view. Decent determination. All his other skills are average. He has pretty good physicals. 14 natural fitness, 15 pace, 12 stamina. His technicals are good. The 12 dribbling is nice. The 10 free kick taking is nice. 11 passing, 12 penalty taking is nice. Tackling and marking are a little bit less than average, but he's a pure defensive forward. He also plays a really good target man. He also plays a really good deep lying forward. He and Ashton, I'm hoping, are going to be a very good partnership. And that was pretty much our entire activity, which, when you look at it, doesn't seem a whole lot of return on investment, considering I had offers or I made inquiries to about 30 different players. Once I realized how much money we had in the transfer budget and the fact that we weren't spending it, I got them to agree to improve the training facilities. I also got them to agree to look for an affiliate club, a lower league affiliate club. While I am committed to scheduling my under-18 teams and playing them, if I have someone like a Bentley on my team or a Wilson on my team, who I think will benefit from first-team playing time, even against some lower league competition, I would love to take to send him out and get him guaranteed first team playing time. As you can see, I still got £94,000 left in the transfer budget. I've got almost a £15,000 payroll budget that I'm only spending £8,800 on. Finance wise, I'm not quite sure what's going on. We're £540,000 in the positive. I don't know where that's coming from, to be honest with you. I've never been too in depth with the finances. I'm okay looking at them, and I can sit there and say, okay, that was our bank loan. That's the money we got for the bank loan. Here's what we got for the sponsors. We did pick up a new main kit sponsor and a ground sponsor this year, which helps. Projection wise, we're in the red. We're supposed to finish with £700,000 balance. And for a team that was losing money and was getting cash injections from the board, it seemed every week or two. I don't know. It's something. If it's a glitch, it's a glitch in my favor, and I'm not really going to complain about it. So, schedule-wise, these are the friendlies. I tried playing teams that were at or just above my level of competition, just to kind of get the guys ready for that. Beating up on smaller teams is nice, but I don't know that it prepares them fully for the upcoming season. We had a pretty productive set of friendlies. I'm happy with the Bradford City tie. The 4-1 win at Eastleigh was nice. The 3-1 win at Sutton United was nice. The win against Oxford City was nice. Yeah, Bristol trounced us, and Hereford beat us as well. But everybody got playing time. So my plan was to play the first couple games of the season and then pick up the live comms. And then I looked at the schedule and realized Fylde was our first home game and Orient was our next away game. And I like doing home and aways, so that was going to be my plan. But first we had to play Barrow. And get that out of the way, we went to Barrow and we trounced them 5-0. I think I'd like to say the boys were upset at losing the way they did at the end of last season, but I don't think so. I think it's just a sign that, maybe I'm building a pretty decent team. Barrow had 21 shots, 9 on target. They had 1 clear-cut chance. We had 14 shots, 7 on target with 4 clear-cut chances. Barrow had a decided possession advantage, but it really didn't help him in this case. Janai Gordon announced himself with a brace, 10 minutes apart, 33rd and 43rd minute goals. Tom Ashton had a brace, 49th and 74th minute goals. Michael Thelastis had a 58th minute goal. And this was the team I used, playing the 3-4-3. Hilson in goal, Wakely, Elston, and O'Grady as the defensive back line. Bentley, Grayson, Perry, and Hooper as the midfield 4. Brian Allen picked up an injury in preseason, nothing long-term, but it was enough to keep him out for the first game. And then Ashton, Thelastis, and Gordon as my 3 strikers. And we just, Barrow didn't know what to do, really. They had a lot of shots, and Hilson was pretty solid in goal. The defense was really solid as well. And we just had some really crisp passing up front. We had some really nice assists. Gordon had 2 assists in addition to his 2 goals. Bentley had a nice assist. Ashton had an assist. This was a solid team performance. One of the players I wanted to show is this guy, Barry Cousins, who I picked up last year. 2-star current, 4-star potential ability, 19 years old. He's here on 75 pounds a week. He originally wanted a non-contract, but I got here on 75 pounds a week. He plays defensive forward, and he was sitting on my bench not doing anything. Last season, I loaned him out to Stainstown. He had 41 starts, 22 goals, 6 assists, and a player of a match. And I had a couple of teams come at him this offseason for a loan appearance, and no, he's going to be Thelastis' replacement. In fact, he and Thelastis will be switching on and off for most of the season, and if he can eventually replace Thelastis, I am more than happy to have him do that. He's got a lot of growing to do, especially in terms of his defending, but really good physicals for his age. His mentals, with the exception of his concentration and positioning, which I can work on, are also really good. And his technicals are good where they count. If I can get him if I can get him a lot of first team playing time, I'm hoping he'll be 3 stars by the end of the season. I'll be honest, you look at Tom Ashton and he doesn't strike you as anything special. He's got really good physicals, except his strength. His mentals are okay. That 4 concentration can really stand out at you from time to time, and the 4 bravery as well. He's got a 10 finishing and 11 first touch, but nothing about him. I mean, if you were just to look at this, would you honestly sit there and say, oh, that's a guy who has 155 appearances, 93 goals, 55 assists, 22 players of the match, and a 7.3 rating? I don't know what it is about FM sometimes. Sometimes players like this just jump out at you or just for whatever reason take off. But he's had a great Enfield Town career. I'd like to get him some league games. I don't know that he'll be any good for them, but I would like to get him some league games. And what's even worse is he dreads playing in big matches. He's not a big game player. And you could have fooled me. I didn't know that. I didn't even look at this until this offseason. And it was shocking as heck. Can be wayward when crossing the ball. Fairly inconsistent performer. That's just nothing about his results. It matches that at all. But he's been the hero of the save thus far. And I don't think he's gotten above 2.5 stars since we've had him. Interestingly enough, as kind of a career tidbit, he was at Port Vale. Port Vale let him go because they got Lucas Green-Berchin. And then this first season here was the first season I simmed when I started this save. Enfield Town picked him up. And he was, less than whatever. 4 goals and assists. And then I played him, and all of a sudden, he breaks out for 35 goals and 20 assists. That's outstanding is what that is. And he's off to a good start this year as well. He's in the right place at the right time more often than not. And it does look like he's losing a step, but I think that's because the level of competition around us is getting better. I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to come back next time with, I'm going to go a couple games ahead with a home and away at Wrexham and Sutton United. And that'll put us a little bit into the season. We can see how well we're doing and compare it to last year and go from there. Well, I do have to apologize for how last season ended. Honestly, it was some of the better match commentary I've done. And I'm just royally hacked off that OBS screwed up the way it did. I've spent a little more time researching it, and it's something that crops up from time to time. Some of the fixes are, hey, roll back your video drivers, or go here and do this, or go here and do that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Frankly, I think I'm just going to have to keep an eye on what's going on, make sure I don't have anything else running in the background other than FM when I am recording. I've got a pretty beefy gaming laptop. It's an Alienware 17R3. It's less than a year old. There's no reason it should be wigging out like that and airing out like that, especially when I know in the past, when I haven't been playing FM or have OBS, and I have OBS open, and I'm recording other things just to test some stuff out, I don't get the same errors on feedback. So, I don't know. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry you guys missed that commentary too. I think at the end of the game, you would have heard how absolutely gobsmacked I was, and either sympathized with me or laughed at me or both. But that's one of the reasons I do this. So we're going to jump ahead a few weeks, get Season 4 underway. We're aiming for a mid-table or higher finish this year. I am still on the lookout for some quality free agents and players to join us. Lord knows I've got enough money to throw at them. Lord knows I've got a decent amount transfer budget. I'm still trying to figure out the finances on that, how we can go from a team that was so far in the red to a team that, hey, here's a £100,000 transfer budget and a £5,000 salary raise. Or maybe it was £2,000. I don't know, I'd have to go back and look. But it's FM being FM, and it's happening in my favor, which has me really, really worried. But that just means there's something coming on down the road that's just going to absolutely throw me for a loop. And hopefully everybody will be here to watch that happen. If you liked what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave them down below. I'll answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM Jellico, and I thank you for watching.